Let's explore now the third option of importing data automatically setting up the grammar. That is, importing documents from a folder. This option will allow you to import documents in a new project and create automatically a new primary complex to which the documents will be cross-referenced. You can import documents that follow PCA's file naming criteria or not. In the first case, their file names can contain documents or complex objects. If that's the case, PCA's will automatically set up a new document type and will import the data in the newly created structure. Let me show now an example of a few documents that follow PCA's file naming criteria. We see here 3 text documents, and we notice that their file names contain different objects separated by the underscore and the double underscore separator. Those are the 2 default separators in PCA's. Let's have a look at one of those file names, for example, Bainbridge Searchlight. We see here that the first part of the file name contains the newspaper article name in this case, then there is an underscore and the date of the newspaper article, another underscore, and the page number. Those 3 values corresponded to the 3 document type simplex that we have in the sample grammar. After those 3 objects, we have a double underscore and then 2 objects more. The double underscore is the default separator between document objects and complex objects. In fact, as I told you before, you can import documents that contain in their file names both document objects or complex objects. We see here that we have 2 complex objects that are the location of the newspaper article, Bainbridge, and the victim name here, Bill Grant, both separated by an underscore. That is, again, the default separator between complex objects, just like the document simplex objects. When importing those files, PCA's will automatically set up a new grammar, a new document type. It will ask you the name of the 3 document simplex that we have in the first part of the file name in order to set up a new document type, and it will also ask you the name of those 2 simplex in order to set up a really simple grammar. Let's import now the documents. We click on What Next to open the main menu, and then go to Quick Menu and start a new project. We choose the third option, Import Documents from Folder. When importing documents, you can import documents that are all contained in the same folder, or documents that are divided into multiple subfolders inside a main folder. In the second case, PCA's will automatically import all the documents in each subfolder and will cross-reference each of them to a new primary complex that has a new simplex objects under it that contains the value in the subfolder name. In this case, we will not use this kind of import since all our documents are in the same subfolder, so we click No. We select now the folder, and we choose the type of import that we want to use. In our case, our file names follow PCA's file naming criteria, so we'll choose the third option. PCA's file naming criteria means that the file names contain multiple objects separated by any separator. But we can also import documents that do not follow PCA's file naming criteria. And in this case, we say Windows criteria, so they have normal file names. And in this case, we can choose to import them in a new database, keeping the grammar or not. We see here the 2 options. Now we choose the third one. We select the document type. We select the file type that we are going to import, TXT in this case. How are those file names set up? In our case, they contain documents and primary complex objects, as I showed you before, but you can also have only documents objects. For now, we'll click on No. Now PCA's is asking us the separator that we use to concatenate the different simplex in the file name. We have used the default separator, so the underscore, so we click OK. And now it's asking us what kind of separator did we use to separate the document part and the complex part in the file name. we used the double underscore. That's the default separator, so we just click OK. And click again OK to continue. PCAce is asking now the document type name that we want to use when importing documents. So in this case, we will just choose newspaper article. Now PCAce has recognized the three simplex objects in the document part of the file name and is asking us what names do we want to give to the simplex associated to the document type. The first simplex name, as you remember, was the newspaper name, so we just call it name, and it is of type string because it contains the name of the newspaper. The second document simplex, as you remember, was the date, so we just call it date, and will contain objects of type date. And the third one was the page number, so we type page number and select again the type of object, in this case number. PCAce has now automatically created a new primary complex to cross-reference the documents that we are importing. We do not want to change its name for now, so we just click on no. And now it's asking us questions about the complex part of the file name. So it has recognized that we have multiple simplex objects in the complex part of the file name. The first complex object was the location name. So we type location and click OK. And contains data of type string, of course. And now PCAce is asking us a few properties of the simplex objects to create under the primary complex. For now, we don't care. We want to allow multiple values. So we want to allow multiple locations under the same primary complex. So we click on yes. The second object that we had in the file name was the victim name. So we just type victim, click OK, and this object will contain data of type string. And also here we want to allow multiple victims for the same primary complex. So we click on yes. PCAce allows you to import documents filtering them by their date, but we do not want to do that for now, so we just click on no. And now we have imported all the documents, and we can open the document list view form to see the newly created documents in the database. And here we go, we have 3 documents with their date, page number, and name. And if we close this form and open the form F3, we will also have 3 new primary complex objects. The identifier needs to be set up in the form setup grammar, but we can go in detail view and see the victim and the location of all the objects here. We see here we see the same values that we had in the file names.